Hello everyone, welcome to another Green Dragons Gaming Club. Without us, they never feel like winners. Without them, we couldn't look so good. So again, we're based out of Westchester, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area, do me a favor, reach out to us. So South Jersey, we've got a gentleman from Princeton, Harrisburg, Allentown, Northern Delaware, even, heck, Delaware is Delaware. It's not a big state. Northeast Maryland, anywhere. Do me a favor, reach out to us. Love to try to get a game in with you. We're literally just a go happy, go lucky group, and we're competitive, but we're friendly. It's more important to turn around and say, here's your beer, and enjoy the game. So with that said, we're actually getting ready for a couple tournaments. So one tournament I'm giving a shout out right now is Battle Cry. This is not Battle Cry because the next tournament after that in March is Brawlers down in North Carolina at Atomic Games. But Battle Cry is my next one, and the reason why we're not trying to prepare for Brawlers is one, Brett's not going. Two, and Brett's name is Swelt up on the 9th Age boards. Mine's Sir MC 2015. Two, I know my 4,500 point list like the back of my hand. It is the same list I usually take. It's like okay, here's my army. It hasn't changed for a long time because it works. It's like one thing I always found with Equitane is when I was losing and losing and losing. And first off, I find that when you lose, you learn the most. Okay, it all depends on your perspective, but it's like you have to sit down and analyze what worked, what you do wrong. That's always the most important thing. Where were my mistakes? Then you analyze each unit. Was each unit used appropriately? Then you go, which unit would make better? Which character tweaks or which banners may make this unit feasible or workable or work the way my game style is? And so that's why so that's what I feel about losing. So we're moving on to Brawlers Bash because I want to make sure I have a list. I have not sat down and painted my army in full yet for Brawlers because it's a 6,000 point game, and I'm going, I don't know what I want to bring. Just flat out, I don't want to know. And for those of you who may be free this Tuesday night, we're going to do like the square table. We're going to do our Green Dragon Dragon Talk, which I've put up 2 episodes previously. We're actually going to be on this Tuesday night. I don't know, it's February whatever. And today's what, the 18th, so that's about 22nd, 23rd. I don't know. I don't have my calendar in front of me. But anyway, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, United States, Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be me and a big chunk of my group, one other member of the content team, and who's also part of my group. And it should be a lot of fun. We're going to be talking about army building. We're going to be talking about deployment. Do you want first or second turn? And then we're actually going to try coming up with some ideas with our group for reformulating the magic phase. Because again, that's one of the things with the 9th Age right now. But the whole reason I went on that little tangent was going back to Brawlers is I'm trying to build my list. I don't know what I want to bring. And that requires playtesting, and more playtesting. So we have a 6K game, Ogre Cons, played by Brett, aka Swelt, up on the 9th Age website, versus myself, Sir MC 2015, of the Dwarven Holds. And Ogres scare me. That is probably, them and Beast Herds are the 2 armies that I have issues with. And because of my build, I have issues with Infernal Dwarves, but that is not a dwarf specific thing. That's because of my build. And my playstyle. So that's something I need to address, but that's one style list versus what I have. So right here's my list. This is what I'm playing with. For those of you who want to pause it, take a moment. I know I don't have points up. Put it in Army Builder or Battle Scribe, wherever you want to use. So here's our game. It's actually it's a fairly quick game. And why? Because it's ogres and dwarves. I mean, there just isn't much there. And I don't have an ultra shooty list. I don't. And what happened here was I placed first but wanted to go second. I wanted him to come up to me. I wanted to see how he would respond. And what does he do? He takes his entire army and puts it on the other side of the board. And I'm going, holy crap, that sucks. Seriously, I'm going, what the hell do I do now? And he got first turn because I chose to go second. Going back, the reason why I chose to go second is I find that when I go first, my playstyle, that gives me an advantage. To quote Dan, is now all of a sudden that's 2 rounds of shooting with the organ gun versus 1 round of shooting with an organ gun. And that's huge. That can be game breaking. At the same time, I wanted to see how I did if someone outthought me. Also, because of our scenarios, which are capture the standards, which are the bottle caps on the board, I'm going, well, you know, I want that second turn so I can try to get the objective. I personally need to do a better job of that. Not saying I don't do that, but I need to do a better job of thinking more about the objectives. So with his list, he's behind that ruined building. He actually has a unit of cannoneers, or whatever they're called now, bombardiers. He's got Bacon, and Hamlet is on the other side, which is the little warthog. He's got another unit of bombardiers. The unit in the back with the BSB looking guy is the mercenary vets. He's got Tusker Cavalry. The unit immediately next to the Tusker Cavalry, those are ogres with great weapons. I forget what they're called now, but they're ogres with great weapons. And behind them are the tribesmen with his mage. And then he's got 2 Ragnaroks, and he has whatever the hell they are, scraplings. So with the so that's it. He gets first turn. He's trying to chaff me up, just using that, and he's moved up like so. And I'm going, all right, what am I going to do? And going with my list is obviously I Vanguard my Seekers with that's my delivery system for the character, and I think that's why he deployed everything over there. Is he's scared to death of that character. I've got the closest white unit are the Greybeards. Then you got an organ gun. Then you got handgunners. Then you've got hammers or Kingsguard. Yes, my opinion hasn't changed. They still suck. They can be effective, but overall they still suck. I got another organ gun somewhere in there. Oh, then I've got my Deep Watch, 17 Deep Watch with 2 characters. Then I've got my 25 spears. I got another Vengeance Seeker. I've got 10 crossbows with shields, and then the Vanguarding great weapons. So basically everything in my army has shields with the exception of the Vengeance Seekers, the Seekers, and the great weapon guys. Everything else has shields. So going back to the game is he turns around, he takes a pop shot. I forget what he shoots them with, whether it be the giant bows on the Ragnaroks or the scraplings. It may have been one for the scraplings. I remember him going, "We got one!" And that's it. So now it's my turn. That is very ineffective. I'm sorry. If you see the green die, the one thing that did occur is he got the comet off, or whatever it's called now, Wrath of God. And I have Room of Devouring, so I'm like, oh, you're going to cast that? Fine, I'm going to eat that and try to get away from the damn thing as quickly as humanly possible. That's all I can say. It's the Wrath of God puts the fear of God into my army. So we move up as such. I chaff hit both his Ragnaroks with my great weapon guys. I chaff up his unit of great weapon guys with Junior, and I'm trying to chaff up his cavalry with my spears. As that actually is a matchup where I'm expecting to lose a lot of spears, but I have shield wall. I think I might live with that result. Unfortunately, I ended up during the shooting phase, and I didn't do a lot of pictures. We were trying to play a little quicker because we had one person waiting for a game, being Dan. So Dan, I do apologize. But let's see here. Turns around and so I have all that chaffed up. Here is the end of his movement. So he charges in with the one Ragnarok, and I fail my terror test. He redirects and goes into my crossbows. By the way, before I continue, he has that the Hellheart or whatever that is that gives everything in his army that is not insignificant. Act as if it has a BSB. Ouch. So anyway, so he's running with that silly thing. So they fled because I failed my on a 9. I rolled a 10, and the dwarves with the bows held, and that's it. He charged Junior there in the middle. He tried to charge the Kingsguard and failed because I ended up having that Banner of Dismay. I did not want him to get those impact hits, but that was kind of where I wanted direct. He rolled a 10 on his dice to get in there, and I rolled a 6. And it's like, 12 is just not going to do it there. And over here is that picture of that combat. He gets up, I believe it was called Speaking Tongues. So basically, I don't get Inspiring Presence. And I just looked down, like, okay, I'll let that one go. I'm not going to throw any dice at it. So whatever else he threw that phase, I stopped. And the reason why my general's leadership 10. Everything else in the army is leadership 9. I just didn't care. And my BSB, you can actually see my BSB in this picture there with the back of the Troll's Head banner. He's close enough, and that's it. So over here, he turns around, he kills 2 of my guys with shooting. That goes as expected. He eats the entire unit. That goes as expected. He turns around and eats Junior. Although Junior only took 2 wounds from his close combat attacks, and then I took an additional wound from stomps. And that's it. Now, let me go back a few pictures here. So, unfortunately, I don't have a start of my turn. So his Ragnarok's, the one overruns, the one just kind of sits there, and that's it. We don't have anything else. So during my turn, I actually take my Deep Watch there in the middle and charge his Great Weapon guys. I take my King's unit, and it's a long charge, and he had a 10. They get into his riders there. And the thing is only about 4 or 5 of them can actually be on the riders. And I slide the King over to add the King to those attacks. And we'll see. So there's that. There's that. All right, so there's those 2 combats. First off, I need to make sure I move one combat before the other to make sure that the other unit can definitely get into combat. Fortunately, we're still playing my basement, and we're trying to play quick, so Brett, who was very gracious, said, go ahead. So Brett, thank you for that. Again, everything would have been fine. It just, that's what ended up happening. And he was taking DT tests, and I don't know why he was taking DT tests. I think he thought he put his scraplings in the woods, and they didn't. I just realized that now as I look at the picture. It's got 4 wounds on it. And I know I put a couple wounds just now with my organ gun, but my organ gun underperformed and only did 2 wounds. I don't know. So on to close combat. Over there, now remember I started with 17. There's 7 Ys, so that's 7, 12. He only killed about 4 or 5 of them. I did 3, 6, 9, 10 wounds. Charge rank 2 banners, and he had rank and banners, so 5. So yeah, so he ends up breaking here, and my Kingsguard killed them to a man. Killed the his cavalry to a man, which was not what I wanted. I wanted one of them left, because again, with Swift Stride, that would have put me into the mercenaries. And I'd rather be charging the mercenaries than be charged by the mercenaries. So, over here, the Deep Watch turn around and they get into that combat as such. And yeah, that's it. So start of his turn, he takes his mercenary vets and he charges into the flank there. and he's hoping that he'll be able to kill enough of me. The issue is he only has 2 mercenary vets. That's total 4 merc vets able to swing about against that unit, and he still needs 4s to hit me, and I think 3s to wound me. And then I have my armor, and then I have my ward save because I have a hold stone on my BSB. It's like boom, rock. Here you go. I forgot to list that in the army list. Oh well. And meanwhile, it's opened up the flank to my Kingsguard, and the unit in front of them is stubborn. Leadership 10. That's all I can say. So, over here, more shooting, kills 1 more of them, kills 1 of them. Ragnarok turns around and eats them. And over here, for this combat, he got a spell off that -1 of my strength, still made me strength 4. And he only killed 5 of my Deep Watch. That was it. He only killed 5, but he's still winning combat. But I still did 3, 4, 5 wounds back to him going against the ogres up front because I had better chances to wound them. And I'm going, yeah, I'm not worried. I'm not scared. And finally, I remember I said he cast the comet. The comet didn't come down until finally now. It's like he kept rolling 1s through 3s, then finally he rolled a 6. But he only rolled a 7 for the range, and the only thing it blew up at that point was the organ gun. That was it. So, at this point we called it, and here's why we called it. Is this battle, they hold, Kingsguard is going in right into that great big juicy flank of the mercs. He won't do enough wounds to me compared to what I'm going to do to him. I have not done any of my magic phase. Well, I know he stops my magic, but probably not. I'm going to get at least 1 of my useful spells off. And that's it. So we ended up calling it. It ends up being a total massacre for Dwarven holds. Now, in retrospect, let me go back here. Had he turned around and rather than charging the Deep Watch, if he had charged the Kingsguard, we figured out he would have left me. We diced it out about 6 Kingsguard and the King. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, that would have been great. I'm like, yeah, would have been. However, you now just lost the unit. He goes, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, absolutely. So I just turned around. I won that combat with the Deep Watch. That unit of ogres did nothing to me, even with your spell up on me. So I'm going to let them run away. I'm going to pivot and then charge into them during my turn into the rear of your merc vets. They're going to then turn around, lose combat, and get run down, and have the Kingsguard chase after them. The Deep Watch is just simply going to turn around and square off against your ogres up ahead. And he goes, oh, got it. At the same time, for the tournament we're going to, it's how many victory points did you win? It still would have been a better call to have charged into the Kingsguard. But I think what we all said is that his failing with this is when he tried charging me turn 2. And I actually chose to flee, and I think I forgot to mention this. I chose to flee with my spears, which is why a lot of his charges failed. That right there had him set up for all my counters. And had he been patient there, again, ogres are one of the banes to dwarves. I think would have been a lot better in his favor. So, as I said, right now it ends up being a massacre for dwarves, but the Kingsguard and the Deep Watch, take your pick. Both earned their points back. Both were doing damage output. Kingsguard still suck, but again, it's not because of their offensive ability. The reason why I don't like them is their defensive ability. It doesn't rank with Deep Watch. It just doesn't. So, and I can do pretty much the same thing out of core from Great Weapon Greybeards, where yeah, they're only armor 5 versus armor 4, but immune to psych, and I'm not a fan of immune to psych all the time. They're not worth their points. end of the day, the Kingsguard, as much as I love them, as much as I love the models, are not. They're just not worth their current point costs. They can perform. I think I showed in this case they're going to perform, but overall they don't. For the because again, if I went toe to toe with the Mark Vets, he's got me. He turned around and he killed all but 6. But then again, those 6 we figure out turn around with the king opened up a bag, just a bag of whooping on them, because I still had reroll misses. So he's still losing like 3 or 4 Mark Vets. I'm sticking around, and that's all she wrote. The Rockaroks for the Ogre Cons killed a couple of units, and that's it. So please feel free to post any questions, comments, concerns down underneath. Hopefully Brett will post his army list here as well. And until next time, happy gaming!